Thank you. Hi, I'm Tera.
Hi, Tera.
Whew, okay. Welcome to the newcomers. That actually always makes me cry. First of all, I'm going to curse and I'm going to cry. I apologize if that's triggering. It's what I'm in right now. I love the newcomers that come and share in these rooms because I see so much of who I was when I came in 4 years ago. And I see who I am even today, and the newcomer shares a lot, so welcome. I hope I say something that doesn't scare the shit out of you. Thank you to this lovely woman. She's a light in my life. I'm going to share about my experience. I grew up with an alcoholic single mother who drugged me along for the ride through boyfriends, homelessness, drug addiction. I went to my first AA meeting when I was 2, I think, and then NA after that with her. So I always really hated these rooms. When I first came in, I really fucking hated it here. It reminded me of the smoke-filled rooms I grew up in. My mom sought validation through men, and usually when that happened, I was discarded to a family member's house or a random friends of hers house. I say that in these rooms because it took me a long time to believe it. It took me a long time to actually remember that all of this stuff had happened. We slept in a lot of hotel rooms. I slept next to a lot of men that my mom would be sleeping with. I had to remember that. That was what it was like for an alcoholic home for me. For a long time, I had this guilt around saying that because my mom for a long time had made it very clear to me that she gave me this life and I am where I am today because of her. When I was graduating college, she leaned over to a friend of mine and said, "I got her here." And that's my mom's experience with my life. My mom is still very sick, which I'll talk about in my hope section. She faked her own suicide 2 years ago. She is about to become a person without a home. She was in a similar situation 6 months ago when I was on a vacation. That was something I earned. It was a 5-star fancy fucking vacation that I earned. But I had guilt the entire time. So I experienced that to this day. My mom is very sick. She may never get better, but it's not my business anymore, right? So in the alcoholic home, I was told a lot of things, which I want to only spend 2 minutes on the alcoholic home because I want to talk about the amazing place that I am today. But I was told that I was never wanted. My mom said that my dad left her because of me, because he wanted a boy. He ended up getting a woman pregnant at the same time my mom was pregnant with me. My half brother and I are a month apart. She said he finally got the boy he wanted. I am Portuguese. You can see I don't look Portuguese. So I look very different than my family, which my stepmother, when I was a child, my nickname was the ugly duckling. Again, I say all that so that we can talk about where I am today, because when we grow up in an alcoholic home, it's really fucked up. And in this room is the only place I can really say these things, and there will be someone who said, I experienced something similar. So for a long time, basically what I did was I survived my home. I took care of my mom. I learned how to drive when I was 12. I would pick her up from locations, ex-boyfriends' houses. I got a college scholarship, so I got the fuck out. But every weekend, I would have to rescue my mom from some boyfriend's house that she was abusing him. I paid her rent a lot. I handled her finances a lot. So there was just me being the caretaker a lot. I'm looking at out in that reading, denial. Thank you. That's such a huge thing for my recovery. I denied my past for so many years, which was why I was springing all these leaks. And I actually appreciate that is part of our character defects. Begin to accept and love myself for creating survival tactics. That was my survival tactic. If I had to remember all of the trauma, I wouldn't have been able to get through my fucking day. And so I feel like a lot of what happens as adults is we're so hard on ourselves because we're met every day with new challenges, right? And we go, well, my friend can do it this way, and she's fine, and they're fine. But they didn't constantly get attacked with all this trauma. So it is going to be harder for us. And it's like, that to me, I had this awakening this morning about that when I was thinking about what I was going to share, is like, why are we so fucking hard on ourselves when we went through something so hard? And it's because every day we're met with new challenges, life, and we don't like the way that we're reacting to it because our old tools, our defense mechanisms aren't working anymore. But just because that's the case, we're in these rooms to try and like relearn that. And it's so simple, right? It's so simple just to be like, that wasn't working. It got me here. And I'm not going to be like fucking Susan being perfect at whatever she's doing to every situation in life. Like, I'm not. I had this other shit. And so I'm unboxing it. And all I can do is accept that. And the way that my brain is like, the way that I have to think about it is like, if I got bit by a fucking dog, I'm not going to go pet every dog on the street. And it's like that anybody would be like, yeah, of course, I know you're scared of dogs. You got bit by that big dog. And it's like, it's the same thing with my childhood. It's like, there was a lot of stuff in it that doesn't make me want to go and trust everyone and even trust myself. It took a long time for my gut to be like, you're good. I have a boyfriend who's so kind to me, and every day I'm like, should I break up with him today or tomorrow? Fuck, I don't know. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But it's like, is that 1 minute? Is that 1 minute? Thank you. Because I couldn't trust the childhood that I grew up in. I still can't trust my mom. My family of origin is still really damaged. I have 2 older sisters, and, they had a whole bunch of kids, and they were on drugs, and they got recovery, which I'm really grateful for. But we led a different life, and I am learning to trust women like Diane and people in this room that I will say out loud, like, outreach calls? Fuck, that was like the hardest thing. I'd be like, hey, I have 2 minutes, but then I have to go because I have dinner on the table. It's like 3 o'clock. I'm like, I have to go. But that was my little door cracking open. That was me like petting the dog on top of the head, like just real soft. That's okay. That's okay. And that's what I've had to say to myself. I have to keep being like, hey, Tera, it's okay. It's okay that you don't like everybody or that you feel uncomfortable sharing your story. But I can't ignore it anymore. I can't be shamed by it because it's the reality. And you know what? Who fucking cares? It's where I come from. It's not who I am today. That's it. Thanks.